Good morning. It is 24 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, the birthday boy, Sheriff Mike Herrington and Undersheriff Charles Yslas. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. How are you?
How are y'all doing today?
We're doing great.
Good deal.
TGIF.
That's right. Exactly. It was so funny that it came up because I was talking, and because I'd sent the sheriff a message and say, "Hey, reminder, we got you on today."
Right.
And so I was talking at the end of the last hour. And I was like, "Oh yeah, the sheriff's coming," and I was looking to see just to make sure he'd say, "Hey, I'm coming or not coming." And then I got a thing on Facebook today. Is Sheriff Mike? I was like, "Oh, look at this!" It just happened organically. I was like, "Oh, look at this!" Just so happened. So.
Yeah, but that's good. And
how's any birthday plans today other than working?
Lots of work today, and
maybe the residents of Chaves County can behave themselves. Everybody, just today. Yeah. I mean, just today, give the sheriff time to enjoy his birthday.
Yeah, and so we're going to be working today on that, but we're also getting everything ready for all the September 11th stuff that starts tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we're going to be out with the Waymaker Church on the east side of town.
Okay.
By St. John's Church tomorrow from 10 to 2.
Okay.
I'll be cooking hot dogs out there.
All right.
And then also during the same time, we'll be at the Roswell Ford.
They got a car show and their Hometown Hero event that's happening tomorrow, like 10 to 1, I believe.
Yep. So I'm a judge on the car show.
Okay.
So I'll be back and forth from there.
Okay.
And then also the
Piñata Fest.
Piñata Fest starts.
Fest going.
They got their 9/11 tribute concert. Tom Blake and a few others are going to be singing. That starts at 10 a.m.
Yep.
And that's going to be in the courthouse
on the courthouse lawn.
That's kind of kicking off the Saturday festivities for Piñata Fest.
Exactly.
Correct.
I also could kind of say, because farmers market's going from 7 to 10 or 11.
7 to 12.
So it kind of transitions everything from farmers market to Piñata Fest out there.
And it all works good together because really and truly it's the same group of people that's going to attend both.
Absolutely.
And so it's going to be a good thing. The Piñata Fest actually starts tonight.
Yeah, day one's today.
5 o'clock to 10 p.m. and then carries on tomorrow from 10 to 10.
10 to 10.
And I'm sure Sheriff and of course all law enforcement and everybody else want to remind folks there's going to be a lot more people, a lot more traffic. There's going to be some closures downtown, some of the side streets.
Slow down.
Yes.
Pay attention, slow down. Don't go. You should never be barreling through downtown because it's always busy, but
that's
particularly
25 miles an hour.
Yep.
And one of the things is the kids and these are great events, go out there, support the food vendors, support the people who are out there, and just go see. It's like I tell everybody about the farmers market. The one thing that is amazing to me is the things that you find out there. You can't find anywhere else.
Absolutely.
Pretty neat.
And
unique stuff.
You go out there and you're like, man, I've never seen anything like that before. But and it's cheap, not cheap.
I ended up being one of the big sales.
Very.
I spent $40.
There you go. So all you vendors at the farmers market, Charles Yslas is a mark.
Yes,
he will buy your stuff. Just be nice to him.
Well, and how you spend $40 on dollar stuff?
Yes.
I guess you get bags of $40, 40 things.
Well, for those who don't know, because Charles, you and your dad are now part of American Legion 61 with the Sons and everything. So we'll be out there selling stuff. So tell our other Legionnaires when you see Charles come, get him to buy some steering wheel covers and masks and everything else.
Oh, you'll be
cookies, all kinds of stuff out there.
You'll be tracked down to buy some cookies and stuff out there. So
we gotta get there early for the cookies. They go like 9 o'clock on. They're gone.
I bought his birthday out there.
Yeah, that's right.
See,
nice.
Well, and talking about birthdays is I'm so blessed to have another one. And, this week we have laid to rest quite a few people within our community who you would have never believed they would have gone this soon.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can honestly say that I'm truly blessed to have another day and to have another birthday. And, the crazy thing is in my mind, and I say this to everybody, especially whenever I'm in a fight. When the fight starts, I feel 18. During the fight, I now feel 52. And then once the fight's over, I feel 88 or 90.
I know exactly how you feel, sure.
For about 3 or 4 weeks, So, but in your mind, as long as you got that drive and you're continuing to go, you're gonna do fine. And so, but this week we've done lots of funeral escorts. We've done lots of things for some great people who passed on early. And I don't question God. You know, I believe everything is in His time, but it's sad to see the effects that it left on the people behind. Yeah. You know, I'm happy
and how young
they went on to a better place, but for those who are left here, it's tough.
Death, the hard part for death is the people that are behind.
Yeah,
you know,
that's right.
I mean, at the end of the day, when we die, we're dead. We're on to the next thing here.
Next deal.
Hopefully, you did your life well here, and you're going on to a good place on the other side here.
Yeah.
But you know, your problems are done. It's the rest of us here that are left behind to deal with the memories and the loss and everything else. And humans, some humans handle it better than others. Some, and if you're already in a place of depression or stress, and then you add that on top of that could be the layers that cause you to really have some serious mental health problems, things like that. So,
and you know, one of the things is when a person is fighting a disease like cancer or something else, and it's prolonged, and they're in pain and they're in agony, and you know, when they pass,
it's almost relief sometimes.
Yes, and it's different than whenever somebody's just gone, almost immediately. Sure. You know. And so we've seen that. We felt that this week, and we have some more funerals that are coming up that are just heartbreaking.
Too soon.
Ones you shouldn't have to be doing right now, and it stinks that you do. My own personal, because I've had it both. When my father passed away, he had the long battle of cancer and all that. My mom had a aneurysm in her heart and did it suddenly. So I've experienced both where like one out of left field, and the left field one is rougher because it's harder, faster. Yeah. Now, in terms of getting over it, I got to be honest. I think the longer drawn out one was a little rougher to deal with in that side because you're physically watching someone you love be less of a person they were than you knew them. Oh yeah. So that's a little bit more mentally grinding, I think. Whereas the other one's kind of like a gut punch. But then after the gut punch settles in, you can kind of process a little bit and do it. You don't dwell on it as much. You just deal with the shock and then try to recover.
And the thing about that also is, you know, she went on to be with her husband.
Yeah.
So you have that deal. You know, that's something where when the first one that's tough because it's been a battle. It's been your job. For ruling your life for a long period of time. Where the other one, you're like, you know what? She went on to be with Dad.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's comforting to know, in a sense. But it's tough, and we're dealing with that right now. And
sure.
And so what we tell everybody, and what I tell everybody is the sheriff. You know, if you want to wear a mask, you wear a mask. If you want to get vaccinated, get vaccinated.
Yeah.
But we're not going to tell you have to.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way it's got to be, and that's the Constitution of the United States, Constitution of New Mexico.
Absolutely.
Very clear. It says you have the right to make the choice for your life.
This is the country you want to be. The freedom to do what you want, but also the responsibility to understand the repercussions for that.
Repercussions or consequences.
And consequences are the responsibilities of that. That's what this is. Like, sure, if you want to do this, great. Yeah. As long as you're willing to accept this, and this, that's what's going to happen, or this. It's just like anything else in life. You make decisions, you weigh the pros and cons, and hopefully you pick the side that's got more pros than cons for you. Yeah. And that's how you make life decisions.
That's what makes this country the best country in the world.
Exactly. And as long as you're doing that, you're doing the right things for you. I mean, obviously, if we're getting into, other things, murders and things, then you're going to be dealt with. But when it comes to making decisions on what you do to your lives, and I don't want to get political, but I'm like, I know there's the abortion arguments, and they're talking, and it's almost like the people are making the same arguments for the opposite things.
Exactly.
Did you notice that? Reverse. Yeah. My body, my choice.
And it's like,
reverse.
How hypocritical do all of you look right now? Because you just jumped on the other team.
Yeah.
And
good. 29 today?
Yeah, 25 if you reverse.
24, he's lying.
You look in the mirror,
26.
Instead of 52, it shows 25.
He says he keeps going back.
I keep standing in front
I like
of the
that.
mirror.
Yeah. That's the thing.
25 with experience.
I keep standing in front of the mirror looking at
52
that
years
reverse.
experience.
Yeah.
but the mirror doesn't help me to realize that I'm 25. As long
As long as you're looking at the cake in the mirror, not the rest of it, right?
Cake. Don't look at the man. That's it.
You're closer in the mirror.
Yeah.
We're not going to put any candles because the fire marshal will have our.
Oh
behind us.
yeah.
We don't want
Oh,
That's
yeah.
it.
And then I wouldn't be able to blow them out. I'd be like that wheezing and so not good. So yeah.
Hey, just put a road flare on the top there. That's like a fountain. It'd be like fireworks and candles all at the same time.
And a huge fire.
But one thing I wanted to talk about real quick was some of the things for the sheriff's office. So, since I've been in office, we've got 19 new trucks.
Nice.
And we've had new transport vans for the courts and stuff like that. And well, we just got 4 more from the capital outlay money that our legislators and senators got for us.
Nice.
As well. So we have 1 Tahoe that's coming and 3 more trucks.
Nice.
So we are doing very well. And
We were talking. I was talking with the mayor yesterday about it, and I was kind of curious about it because they were talking ICIP and all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
And I was asking because they were talking about purchasing more vehicles for the city, law enforcement, and so forth.
Yeah.
And I was kind of curious, how that process. And he kind of explained it, but you could probably explain a little better, or at least when you all buy vehicles, do you all? Because obviously you got your Dodges or whatever companies are at the time making vehicles
Right.
for police officers. Sometimes Ford makes them, sometimes Dodge. Chevy I think even has a few in there.
Right.
But anyway, when you guys go to buy those, do you call local dealerships and they order it, or is there
You would
a police vehicle store some out there that we don't know about? How does all that work?
You have a state contract, but I'll let Charles tell you
Yeah.
because he's the guy that deals with all that.
This is how it works. The sheriff comes in and says, "I need this many vehicles,"
Okay.
and then I said, "Okay."
Okay.
And then it begins. No, what happens is you go off a state contract.
Okay.
You do have a state contract. You do have also CES. So it just depends on what you find. On state contract, you have several different dealerships that will put vehicles on there.
Okay.
And your more popular vehicles for law enforcement are your trucks now, your SUVs.
They're going in that
things
direction.
like that. They
Okay.
do still have some
I'm a
cars.
trendsetter.
But there you go. But what happens is you go on and they're pretty reasonable as far as, or comparable, I should say,
Sure.
in price. And what state contract does is it gives us a price, we pay that price, and then they're reimbursed the difference through submitting that through the state. And what I look for is I look and see how much money I have, and then I see what I can get for that, because I still have uplifting of the vehicles. And what people don't realize is I may pay $26,000 for a truck that's normally $40,000. But
Then you drop another-
then I drop another 15 to 20,000 worth of equipment into that vehicle. So
Sure.
now we're back up to 45,000. And if that truck is wrecked or something happens to it, I get paid for the truck. So
it.
you want to talk about scavenging now?
So now you got to go through
I
and
have
filter
people
all
that
the
will start
equipment
pulling all
out,
that stuff out.
cannibalize
Right.
as much as you can
Absolutely.
out of it.
Yeah, if it's not damaged. So we had a truck that was wrecked just a couple weeks after putting it out on the street.
Oh, that's the
And-
worst kinds, the new
Yeah.
ones. when they get
700
hurt.
miles
Then you get a $19,000 check from the insurance.
after
And
you
how
dump
do you get
40,000
another?
into it.
How do you get another vehicle for that
Yeah.
price? So, but we luckily enough we use all local places to do like our uplifting. We use Albuquerque,
Okay.
whack.
So you can kind of work deals and get,
Yeah.
but you know,
But here we use the Rap Studio and some other places that does all of our decals, and so we try to bring all the money back locally.
sure,
and,
as much as you can on
as
that.
much as we can.
So I'm curious because, like you said, they got to do the uplifting on
Right.
the vehicles. But are those vehicles like when you buy them, they're still not the same
No, we
truck or SUV that a customer would buy? It's got a beefier like
Right.
chassis or some other things that are a
Like-
little different than
Police package.
the regular
Yes.
Tahoes or whatever that a
Like,
customer would buy.
The ones I just purchased, I just purchased 4. I purchased 3 trucks and 1 SUV, and they're all SSV special service vehicles.
Gotcha.
So they have the heavy duty suspension, the tow package. They have the police package on the engine.
Okay.
The engine is a little faster.
Okay.
It has more power.
So
it has the extras
you get
inside.
the special Tahoes or the Dodge or Rams or whatever they're offering out there.
I'm
Cool.
gonna tell you, the Tahoe that we got, that thing is sharp.
It's unbelievable.
It's crazy how high it sets up off the ground now, and compared to the ones before. But that was one of my reasons of going with the trucks is for the 21 years in time that I was with the sheriff's office and driving a patrol car, or even an expedition. The chassis sets so low.
You need the clearance
on the county road. You're going to rip out the bottom of them, and so. Now we have these vehicles that pretty much can go anywhere.
Nice.
And with these tires that we get, the 10-ply tires, we go everywhere.
Nice.
And it's amazing.
It's come a long way from years ago.
Yeah.
When we got 20 years ago when we first got the expeditions, the sergeants, he was a sergeant at the time, the sergeants got the expeditions and we all had the cars.
Yeah.
And we thought we were it then. And then you'd get. At that time, I was a detective, and I would have to park my car, jump in the expedition, put my gear in the expedition, and have them take me down to a crime scene because my car wouldn't make it.
Oh,
and
wow.
so we've come a long way in that amount of time.
Now you can go by yourself.
Exactly.
I don't need a parent.
Everybody has their own car.
So
That's it.
And that's kind of the way everything has gone. It's become more compatible with the job that you actually do. It's just like the uniform that we wear today.
Yeah.
This vest is unbelievable. When you put it on and you put on all your gear, and if you're wide as I am, you get to carry more gear. So my vest weighs about
I do
30.
this for equipment reasons.
For equipment reasons.
That's a good excuse. I'm gonna try
I
that.
try and keep this wider than this. But
and it was the same thing with your belt. When your belt is as tall as you are, you can carry more gear on it. You can carry some of the other guys' gear for you if you need.
I got a few loops right here.
Yeah. So, one of the things about it is you get to carry all your gear up here, and this vest weighs about 35 pounds.
I'm about to say actually that's all things considered, as much stuff and everything. That's pretty light.
That's pretty light.
It's better to carry on your shoulders than on your hips and your waist.
You're going to pay for it. At the end of the day, you're left.
Believe me, and I know because right now at 52, today,
25.
That 25, that sciatic nerve is very touchy.
Yeah.
And when you have all that weight down going on your hips and on your sciatic nerve, over time, it really causes you some serious injuries or issues. And but this vest, I'm telling you, it's all on the shoulder. You don't even notice the weight of it at all, and because you're carrying it all on your legs. And
more comfortable.
And so it's more comfortable.
But then I guess after a while, when you get used to it, and you're part of it.
You just unzip it.
We do live in New Mexico. It's like 800 degrees out here a lot.
But you unzip this thing, you can open up the vest, and you can get some air conditioning from the car. But and before you couldn't do that, so you're sweating underneath that uniform shirt, underneath that vest, and the smell that would come up every once in a while from right here was not
there is no odor
gamey.
like that odor.
There's so much baby powder can do.
If baby powder wouldn't even do it, it just turned to paste.
It was the smell of a locker room all the time.
Okay.
And you can. Everybody can relate to the locker room smell,
Absolutely.
And so that's how that musky smell. So when we went to these, the hardest part about it was not to sell it for the comfort, but to sell it to say, look, this is something that's going to be medically better for us in the long run. Because when people first see this vest and the uniform and everything that we went to, they're like, you're the Gestapo. You're out there. You look like you're in the military. You look like you're going to war. Well, in reality, we are.
Every day.
Every day.
You're absolutely right.
And so, but the main thing is that I did this not to be as an intimidation look, but as a comfort to the officer appearance, as well as it does look sharp.
Man,
it really does look
is
good.
A big part.
And you got to have something that's easy to deal with, easy to take on and off. When they come into the office and do reports, they can take this off, set it to the side, cool down, be comfortable, and throw it on real quick.
Sure, if they got to get out in a pinch, they can get up and get dressed.
It's like a pair of bunkers for a fireman. Just jump in the boots, pull up the pants, and go. They're all attached, so you can do it. Same thing here. You can set it to the side. It's easy to put all your gear back on in just a minute. So we've done some great things with this department, and we've seen technology and things that have become more and more officer friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going that route. We're doing lots of things, lots of training. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's the evolution of policing.
It is.
It is.
And like any other
Right.
place or career or path or anything, you have to be evolving or you're devolving.
And the other part
Or you're
is
behind.
And the
Yeah,
other
exactly.
part is you have to have people who can accept change,
Mm-hmm.
because people will fight change harder than any other fight I've ever seen. You know, they're so complacent,
Mm-hmm.
and change is scary. But once they get there, they're like, man, we should have done this a long time ago.
Sure. Well,
You
it's
know?
we have that mindset of it's better to go
Yeah.
with the devil you know
Yeah.
than the devil you don't. And
Or-
that's the mindset I think most of us have. And so
That's
that's
right.
what we think change. It's
Yeah.
like, well, I don't like this, but at least I know what it is.
Yeah,
Right.
And so
exactly.
I can deal with it. And, no, this is better.
Yeah,
Uh-uh.
yeah.
Oh, it is better. Okay,
Yeah.
then this is
Right.
a new change. But that's
Yeah.
how we have to do it every time because we're too
Yeah.
stubborn to just say,
How-
hey, maybe this one is a good idea.
How many of us flip through Netflix for something to watch, and we always go back to something we've already watched,
Right.
And we know
Yeah.
the ending.
I can
but we
only
know
watch
it.
Ernest Goes
Yeah.
to Jail so many
But we
times.
know it, and so we watch it again.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, because now you can talk. Now you can talk with it as it's playing. you
Yeah,
know, so
exactly.
That's how I do
Exactly.
with. That's how I do with Andy Griffith.
It's like that old T-shirt or that old the old
That old
pair
favorite.
of shorts
Yeah.
or something you love putting
don't throw
on.
those out.
Yeah, that you have no godly business being in public with those
That's
things,
right.
but you love wearing them because they're just comfortable.
That's right.
As far as like what we're seeing on the streets, things like that, what's has it been more of the same since the last couple weeks? Upticks, downticks, like what you got? What are you guys seeing?
So
now?
right now, one of the things that we're dealing with is still with people, stealing cars, stealing property.
Those are still
those are still things that are going on.
crimes of convenience.
Crimes of
property
convenience.
crimes.
Yeah. So your home, like your burglaries and stuff like that, aren't as high, but your crimes against people are still there because some people are still at home.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever they go to do what is considered a burglary,
Mm-hmm.
they get in, and then all of a sudden there's people there. Now it becomes crimes against person. And we're glad to see that the schools are back in session.
Mm-hmm.
Things I think are going to come down a little bit more in crimes against children.
Good.
Types of things I think are going to get better because
Now
they
the
can
people
tell.
getting out of the house, there's less
Yes.
domestic issues.
And
Less
they can tell
domestics.
somebody about it.
But we're still in that phase of people are going stir crazy, and we just experienced something that one of my workers, their daughter had to go to the hospital the other day for a car wreck injury, and we have no nurses, we have no staff. Everybody was gone because of this the mandate to get COVID shot. Well, now Lubbock is fully staffed, if not overstaffed,
They all went to Texas.
because they all went to
Lubbock.
Texas.
Yeah,
That's bad for us.
absolutely.
And
we
that's-
all knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, we knew
I
that was
mean,
gonna happen.
And that's
we
what makes
counted
us
the
mad.
days.
Because
And you go into the hospital, they're all standing in the hallways. There's no beds available. Not because there's not beds available, but there's no nurses to take care of those beds.
They can't run certain
So-
tests because people can't do those
Yep,
tests.
You can't run the
Yep.
tests, and so we're seeing more
bad.
and more things like that, and it's just it's crazy if you just leave it to people. I truly believe if you just said, you know what, go get the shot if you want it, or if you don't. I believe you would have more people probably go get the vaccine if they want.
Sure.
Because they're not feeling forced to go do it.
well, anytime anybody's
Or-
made to do something, they're
Yeah.
going to turn
You're going to
it
get that
into
resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that, you should get it or you shouldn't get it, but I believe that whenever you're forced, that there's always the wall that's put up.
Yeah.
And so whenever you just say it's your choice, just like the flu shot, people go in, they
Yeah.
get it or they don't get it.
Exactly.
But we don't really worry about it because if you don't have it, or even if you do have it and you get the flu, then you're going to hear people say, man, that shot gave me the flu, or you're going to have people say, man, I wished I would have got it because this year's flu was horrible.
Sure.
Whatever it is, but you can't make everybody happy. And no matter how hard we try to force things on people, or not the sheriff's office, but I'm talking about our government.
Sure.
it's going to cause a rebellion or a resistance like they've never seen before.
No matter what you're trying to
And then when you watch
Exactly.
when you watch the TV and you see a government that is in complete
chaos,
confusion. Now, there's and it's not, and it's because a man has an illness. He shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a bad thing.
I always tell people, the people, like you said, I'm all for it. People, do your choices. You choose what you feel is best for you and your family. For the people that choose not to get the shots and things like this, and because of their worries of which are very valid worries, what's the long term here, how much testing's done. Exactly. If you're having those questions, my suggestion to you is before you make that decision one way or another, do what you do for every other time when you're in this situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk to the experts you trust.
Yeah.
Call your doctor.
Exactly.
Call the people that you trust with your medical questions and see what they say.
Sure.
If they agree with you, do that. If they tell you something different, then you do what they do on that. Because but you do the ones you trust, the ones that you feel safe with doing. And if you don't have that person, go find one.
That's right.
Go get a doctor. Go get someone. Go talk to, go get this done because unfortunately we live in an information age where everything's at our fingertips, but with that, everything's at our fingertips, the good, the bad, the ugly. And unless you know what you're looking for, it's really hard to determine what's legit, what's not legit,
you can't look
what's
anything
hokum.
up anymore.
Yeah, don't look up symptoms.
You'll be, oh my gosh, look at this.
I'm going to die. Yeah.
So rather than rely your decision making on all of that nonsense, go to the places you know and trust, your doctors, your healthcare professionals, the people that see you, that see your kids, that do that you rely for everything else
trust your life
health related to with, and ask them this: why would you do anything different now? If any time now more than ever is the time to listen to them, because there's so many people telling you so many different things. Go with the people that you know you trust.
You wouldn't go to a car dealer to buy a cell phone.
Exactly.
And vice versa. Go to the professional.
Yeah, just because your buddy said, "Oh, that vaccine's awful," your buddy works with you doing whatever you do. Sure. They know nothing more about vaccines than you do. They read the same stuff online you did.
That's right.
Go to the experts, the people that went to years of schooling, that treat people day in and day out.
With it.
It's no more like if you're like, you guys are police officers.
Yeah.
If some yahoo came in and started telling you that you need to do officer in this way, you're like, dude, I've been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah.
You literally watch Cops.
Yeah.
Okay? You're doing the exact same thing with your health care.
And believe me, that happens.
It happens more than you think.
Check out my Facebook page.
More than you think.
Exactly.
You should do it this way.
And speaking of the Facebook page, one of the things is you'll see, I put out everything on there, and we're very discreet when it comes to accidents and stuff like that. We're not going to show the body. We're not going to show things like that.
Yeah.
But we always show the accident because you have to be aware that things like this are happening.
You got to be reminded because
you have to be reminded. Just like going to Tatum, scares me to death whenever my kids say, "Hey, we're going to go to Lubbock. We're going to do this," because that road is so dangerous.
it is.
And you got to worry about getting hit head on by someone trying to pass a truck.
Yeah, it's not so much you; it's the other people.
It's the other
you got to
people.
pay attention.
And then they have the sun rising and setting. And
is in your
it
eyes.
can be blinding. Yeah.
Yes.
And so you got to be careful on that, But it's something for us that we are dealing with more and more is within this the sheriff's office is getting information out to the people, being very transparent. If you notice, I go to pretty much every community event, and the reason for that is
free food.
because food's great.
He cooks it.
Yeah, food's great because I'm usually the cook.
He's the one doing it.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that it's so important to me is we have to have community relations. You have to have the people in the county which you live and serve trust you.
Absolutely.
And know that you are there for their best interests. And not to be swayed one way or another.
Exactly.
And so that's important to me. And when I get out there, or we get out there, and my guys get out there, we are there as people, as part of the community, but we're also there to show you that, hey, we live here.
We live here as well.
And we want things to go well. I want people to come out and about. I want them to be able to socialize and to get to meet new people and do things. And so for us, it is important to show that we are there, not just walking around making sure you're safe.
Sure.
But it's also to show, hey, we're going to come up. You can come talk to us.
We're
You're a
approachable.
resource in this community.
Yeah,
people.
and we are approachable.
Whether you
And-
need help, whether you
Right.
need directions, whether you
Yep.
need
Whether you
whatever
want to
it is.
visit,
whether you just want to
have
say
questions,
hello, and
or you come up to me and
Yeah.
say, "Are you doing this while you're working?" Yeah. If they only knew, I work 24 hours a day.
Like,
we work
when am I
7
not
days
working?
a week.
When am I not
That's
working?
right.
7 days a week. So, but the reality of it is, if you took what I make as the sheriff and you put it towards the hours I actually put in, you wouldn't want this job if you want to get rich. Yeah,
Yeah, about-
I think I'm at
Yeah,
about
this is
$1.20
not-
an
Oh,
was
hour.
it,
Yeah.
About $1.20
15
an
cents an
hour.
hour.
That's about
Yeah.
right. It doesn't compare, but I don't do this for the money. I do this because I truly do care
Sure.
about Chaves County, and I do care
This is your
about
home.
the state of New Mexico.
This is our home. It's your home, and you want the
Absolutely.
best home on the
Absolutely.
planet.
People-
and you're doing your part to help make it that.
People forget that we are out there to take care of them
Yep.
and to be available to them. It's not about Democrat, Republican, Independent. It's about people. It's
That's
about
about
the Chaves County residents. It's about if you're visiting Chaves County, it doesn't matter. We're approachable and we love to visit with people.
Exactly. It's all about love.
Yeah.
Love comes in many
Oh,
forms.
yeah,
Tough
yeah,
love,
right.
like
Right.
compassion, everything else.
And he's
is
right. We
what
hit
does.
every event that we possibly can.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing like you were just talking. When we put you in jail or we arrest you, it's not anything personal.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's because of the choices you made.
Sure.
And it's just like your mom or dad. You have to. There is discipline that comes with making a bad decision.
Sure.
And the consequences can be good or bad.
Absolutely.
So people
Could be the
think
wake-up call you need.
consequences. Yeah, consequences. People believe when you say consequences, they always think that it's a bad thing. It's not always that.
No.
It's a chain of events that are happen because of the decision you made right here. So if you make a good decision, everything that comes after it is good consequences.
Absolutely.
So that's what we were talking about. And
Life
I think
lessons.
Life lessons.
It's
And,
it's all about making. When you make mistakes, we all make mistakes. Learning from them. Some, a trip to jail can be the biggest blessing in
Really
disguise
can.
for some people.
Can be the
Really
biggest
can.
change for someone.
Absolutely.
That's exactly right.
Well, we're almost out of. We are out of time, actually.
good. We're good.
As always, appreciate the visit. Happy birthday!
Well, thank you very much.
Everybody, give the sheriff a happy birthday when you see him out and
That's
about
right.
this
Yeah,
weekend
good.
or today, especially.
Real quickly, remember tomorrow, Waymaker Church.
Yes.
Also, Roswell Ford is going to be putting on a car show.
10 to 1.
Stop by there down at the county courthouse in
Yeah.
the morning. The Pinata Fest, several events going on this weekend.
Yeah.
You're going to see us bouncing around from event to event. You'll see the MRAP. You'll see some other deputies running around.
Yeah.
So when you see us, come up and talk to us.
By the way, if you're going out to the farmers market and everything tomorrow early, I'm pretty sure we were discussing it at our meeting last night. American Legion Post 61, how they normally have their. I believe they're going to be doing some bell ringing at
nice.
the times that the plane hits at 7.
Oh,
now you got to get there early. It's
You
going to
have
be
to
like
get there early
7
'cause it was
o'clock
7.
hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they plan
Well,
on doing that there
So
too.
one
Outstanding.
last thing before we go. I just want to tell you I'm so happy to see you in person because
thank you.
that
You ain't
poster
lying.
right there.
You
what
ain't lying.
the heck
That's
is
That-
scary.
It was
Yeah.
it was kind of eerie to sit there and
Yeah.
and you wanted to talk to it, but then we had the earmuffs on and
It's like-
and it
It's
just
like
wouldn't talk back.
It's like watching a Jeff Dunham concert.
Yeah,
You actually start for a minute thinking
Yeah.
you're looking at the puppet,
Is
talking
it-
to him
yeah.
like he's actually answering you.
I was waiting for someone to start doing this with it.
So thank
But
you for
welcome
having
back.
us on, but we appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
and We're,
And we're
I'm glad
very-
to be in front of you guys.
Yeah.
Welcome
It's
back.
been a
Thank you.
bad
We're
thing,
glad
too,
you're good,
So
so.
we'll see you here in a couple weeks, if not sooner. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Have a great Friday.
Thanks. You do the same. Thank you,
right.
guys.
You bet.
All right. 8:58. Let's.